Hello, Wastelanders. Welcome back to another Let's Play. Today, for Halloween, we are celebrating with a nice little indie game from the Steam sale. This game is called Home. I've never played it before, but from what it looks like, it's just an indie horror adventure game. Uh, but everything's 8-bit, and a lot of it's just narrative. So, a unique horror adventure by Benjamin Rivers. Uh, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to fully immerse myself by turning off the lights, putting on a headset, turning up real loud, and hoping that this game goes as well as I hope it does. And basically, I'll be reading out all of the dialogue for you guys. I want you to sit back, relax, turn the lights off, get immersed into this, and hope you guys enjoy the horror game as much as I do. Alright, here we go. So here's where it's getting saved. You put aside an hour and a half, which is what I'm going to be doing. You guys can watch this all as a whole. I think I'm going to be splitting up into about 2 or 3 episodes, or 3 or 4 episodes, but right now, let's just do this. Here are the controls. Wear headphones and turn out the lights. Alright. All I remember at that point was finding myself alone. Oh. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There's something by my feet. A flashlight. Alright. That house. Where was I? There's a body lying on the floor. Who was it? Alright. Guess we'll go down the stairs. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home. Seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs and try to find a way out. The bookshelf was full of books on local history and hunting. An old dining table, covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. A black and white photo. Looked like the man upstairs and his wife. I guess there was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? No. I figured this was no help to me, so I left it behind. Actually, let's go back and get it. You never know with these horror games. And if I don't need it, you know, it could come in handy. I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this will help me find some answers. A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Yes. A collection of rusty tools. These look like they'd be seen a lot of use, and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? A photo similar to the old one I picked up. It'd been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Yes, I did. It depressed smoothly into a wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. What was that? The door was taped up and seemed to be locked. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. The switch in the wall worked. The door had been unlocked. I don't like where this is going. The box looked heavy, but there were no marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Oh, there were marks. Maybe he had found a way out. Must have moved it, right? I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. On a ladder. There's a ladder going underground, where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? No, not yet. We still have a bit of the house to explore. I don't want to leave behind something I could have used. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning, or him. There's a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they looked pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like to be treetops. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Alright, so I guess we're going down the ladder now. Whew. It's okay, we got this. Yes, we're going underground now. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Footprints in the dirt. Looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. It was an old map of the town. Places all over were marked. The industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. The guy upstairs must have done this, but what was his interest in the water tower? Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in the town over the last few years. Wait, there were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell is that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. A work table, covered in papers and dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? Yes. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. I climbed down the ladder. Some kind of homemade rack, slung together with poorly cut wooden rope. It was caked with blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind. Corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? Oh, it's getting a little weird. Oh, bats. I never liked bats. I remembered noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. I don't remember if I jumped down here or found another way. It looked to be a long way. Did I jump down? No. Maybe there's some other way to get down here without risking any more injury to my leg. there's a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Yes. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder a little easier to descend. I had the rope now. There must have been a use for it somewhere around here. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out! Danger due to cave-in. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. The ache in my legs was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of these awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least, I thought, I had found a handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there were grass smears within it. I could hear a faint trickling sound, like water. What was that? That's a little too convenient. A kitchen knife, covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yes. I slipped the knife into my boot since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all this? You can never be too safe. Well, I don't think I'm getting back that way. The door was locked. There was a musty smell coming from inside. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. I wasn't sure what those valves were for. Did I turn it anyways? Yes. Okay, I made it a little more quiet. Sometimes quiet's a good thing. I wasn't sure what these valves were for. Did I turn it? Yes. Okay, well, it seems like we have our first little puzzle here. I guess we're just gonna turn off all the valves, see what that does. Seems like it's still going. Maybe I need more information before I do all this. I guess I'm going to the exit then. Cause I just hope this isn't a mistake. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew that I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Okay, so that's what the regulators are for. Alright. Okay. Through the dust I could see handprints from previous use. Probably from whoever worked in those sewers. Alright. Looks like I've turned off the water flow in this valve. Okay, so that's one valve. I just have these valves to turn off, I guess. Looks like I turned off the water flow in this valve, so it's just this one I have to turn off. Did I turn it again? Yes. The valve was still active. Did I turn it again? Yes. Alright. So it's that valve. Yes. Yes. Okay. So all the valves are turned off. I can finally escape now. This door was still locked. But hopefully the ladder will be drained out by now. I climbed down the ladder. Looked like the water drained out through that grate in the wall. Oops. The smell didn't improve much, and the room was damp. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? The door was locked. I could see a faint light from within. I found another dead body. A sewer worker by the wounds all over his face and body. I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yeah. I thought about the knife I found within with some disgust, I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I almost was worried he was gonna grab me. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. I was anxious to leave, but I couldn't help wonder what that key unlocked. I wonder if we should go back. We probably should. We could get something of use at least. Help us out later on. I used the key ring to unlock the door. The security desk was dusty, and there was a dirty coffee cup here. The VCR looked like it still worked. Oh, nothing. Shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized and through covered dust. Must have been old if they were still using VHS. Odd, one of these tapes was missing. Alright, I guess we have our goal now. Find that tape. I tried a bunch of the keys on the keyring I found on that sewer worker, and one seemed to fit. Killer. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines in the forest, and in one case dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had also been pasted up in those tunnels. Did the sewer worker find this room? Is that why he was killed? A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what use it could be. Did I keep the receipt? I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it into my front pocket. Oh crap. Okay. That was a little horrifying. Okay. That sent a chill down my spine. I don't know about you guys, but let's go back through that door to where we could smell the fresh air. I could use some fresh air. It's a bit musty in these sewers, huh? My sore leg and the extra weight I was carrying made the climbing the ladder difficult. Would I need that gun or that knife before the end of... Or was it foolish to even have picked them up? Who hid all these newspaper clippings away in that locked room? As I limped to the top, I found a latch I couldn't see and cracked it open with my one free hand. I pushed it open, the heavy lid above me, and suddenly the awful smell of that sewer gave way to the dank scent of pine trees. Okay. Ooh, I never liked metal doors. Not once. There's a ladder above me. An old ladder heading up to the ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? I slid the filthy wallet in my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any kind of cards, or ID of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. Did I put this up here, or was somebody else carrying it? From over the railing, I could see over the woods and down into the entrance of the sewers. Had I come through here before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. Oh. The rusty door was locked tight with an old padlock. The faded sign on the door warned about some kind of train yard. It must have been referred to as the town's only train station. It didn't look like I'd be able to get through here at all. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I'd seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here, the sign pointed out various campsites and the walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. Trampled into the dirt and the grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take my credit card back? I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated building, or outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. No, no, no. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. A musty wooden plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? I didn't see the point in carrying that hunk of wood around. Okay, maybe I should take it. But there might be something in the stall and there might be something I could use it for. But I took the plank. Okay, there's nothing in the stall. Okay, let's check out this one. I finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. I'd stumbled through the dense forest with little grace and no sense of direction whatsoever. At least now I thought of the air that seemed to thin out a bit, and it was lighter on the path ahead. I could almost see a way out, so I must have been closer to the town. Still, that forest had felt awful and ominous, and though it looked like I was finally out of its worst parts, I could sense it still gazing upon me. Perhaps the woods didn't want me seeing what it held, but I wondered, what could that be? As I stepped through the grate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a mechanist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Someone's in here. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. The door was locked shut, and there's a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was plastered to the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." There's a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and the cobwebs had collected in the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. And the door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box inside it. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper, cartoons, and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys of the line. A power panel. It looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yes. Power panel still wasn't working. Should I switch it again? Yes. The panel seemed to be working again. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out, and the face was unrecognizable. Alright, here's another power panel. I guess I'll switch it on. It was shut tight, and there was a rusty looking card slot on the side. Alright, so that was the first episode of Home. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you guys have any comments or requests, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. If you guys like me doing narratives of these stories, a little walkthrough / narrative, please tell me, and until next time, you guys have a good one. I know I will. Happy Halloween, you guys.